Hey Gem Rising, let's take a look at May's astrology and how it's impacting your zodiac. So there are a lot of changes occurring, a lot of Gemini energy this month, and happy solar return to all the Geminis celebrating. May this year bring you all that your heart desires. Now let's crack on with the astrology for May because a lot of changes, a new energy on the horizon, so let's get into it. May the 4th, we have Pluto that goes retrograde. It will go retrograde in Aquarius at 3 degrees, and then it will go direct on October the 13th at 1 degree. So a good couple of months in retrograde motion. Now, retrogrades, nothing to fear. They happen every year. It's just a cycle of life and how the astrology impacts us, okay? So with Pluto going retrograde, it's impacting your ninth house. This is the area of life that rules over the higher mind, higher learning, could be higher education, could be travel, foreign places. It's about expanding the mind. So with Pluto here, there could be just a lot of deep reflection, a lot of deep shadowy stuff that comes up, or stuff from the unconscious, buried deep within, or even coming to some really deep realizations. There could just be a lot of like slowing down in this area of life, which you're probably not happy to hear because, as a Gem Rising, you're all about traveling and being out there and exploring and going on adventures. But it's a very spiritual time, and it can really actually expand you spiritually because this area of life is all about learning, whether it's, learning from a piece of paper, a book, articles, or learning from philosophies and ancient spirituality. Like, it doesn't matter. It's all about expanding the mind, so it can teach you a lot. It doesn't mean it's going to impact everyone the same way, but that is kind of the main manifestation of Pluto being in retrograde, is slowing things down, and it's more about having a more deeper spiritual transformation in this area of life. And who knows, during Pluto retrograde, maybe you visit somewhere, but it brings out just such a strong, emotional, sensitive, it brings out this emotional depth out of you, or something really moving that is just so profound and really just impacts you in a much more deeper way. So it really depends on your chart. What do you have in the ninth house? How is Pluto being aspected? So won't impact everyone the same way, but that is the main theme of it. Let's get on to May the 10th, where Mercury enters Taurus. It will enter your 12th house. So the 12th house is more of the kind of unseen realm. It's the non-physical. This is more of the creative, artistic, dreamy area of life. This is where the subconscious is. This is where our emotions can also exist. And with the 12th house, you could feel really creative. You can feel very artistic, great for writing, great for expressing yourself. This may be a time where you're really kind of like in your mind as well. With the energy of Taurus, it's more grounded. However, it is going to make a difficult, challenging aspect with Pluto and Mars. So that's where some of the triggers can come up, but there's still a lot of room for a lot of spiritual transformation and kind of unraveling the past, or unraveling things that have been just weighing heavy, and it's time to kind of like reflect on them, come to some realizations, and transform them. Mercury will be changing signs. It will be moving into Gemini on May the 25th, which will really be great for you because it's going to be in your zodiac. It's going to be in your first house. You're going to be a social butterfly. You're going to be traveling, even though, yes, I spoke about Pluto retrograde, but there's still so much travel here, so much movement, so much just exploring and learning new things and communicating. You're definitely going to be very social and really networking with a lot of people. So this can be a very exciting time, and there's just so much Gemini energy. I mean, the sun enters Gemini on May the 20th, so this is a new cycle for a lot of people, a new chapter. This is also a new solar year for a lot of gems, and we also have a new moon in Gemini happening. And since I'm talking about the Gemini energy, let me just talk about the new moon, and then I'll get into the full moon. So the new moon in Gemini happens on May the 26th. It's at 6 degrees. So look at your chart. If you have any Gemini planets at 6 degrees or close by, this will impact you more profoundly. And it's a very nice Gemini new moon. It's more positive and lighthearted. It's really beautiful because we have Mercury, the sun, and the moon in a conjunction. We also have Jupiter in Gemini. So this is a new beginning, a new cycle, a new chapter. This could bring a lot of changes, positive changes when it comes to sense of self, when it comes to identity, when it comes to life path, life purpose. There could be something new that happens during this time that impacts you positively in life. It could have to do with, like I said, sense of self, but it can also have to do with your mind. It could have to do with communication, travel, life path, life purpose. So being very intentional during this time can really bring a lot of positivity and really direct the future, the journey you're headed on. So a really nice Gemini new moon. Something to be mindful of is Saturn will be in a conjunction with Neptune in the sign of Aries. Yes, and that's because on May the 24th, Saturn actually enters Aries. Now, with Saturn entering Aries in a conjunction with Neptune, this is kind of like shattering rose-tinted glasses. This is removing illusions. This is like stripping us away from anything we've been romanticizing and getting to the nitty-gritty of it all and seeing things for what they exactly are. And this can really show us our limitations. It can show us where we're blocked. It can show us responsibility, where we need to take more accountability, where we need to mature a little bit more. Interesting enough, it's happening in your 11th house. The 11th house rules over friends, groups, and networks. So, and hopes and visions for the future. So perhaps friendships start to change during this time. Perhaps they start to change where, any kind of group or friendship you were kind of looking at from rose-tinted glasses or just looking at very positively. Well, now you're kind of left with the truth of it all. Now you're left with what the actual friendship is based on and what the truth is. And it can feel like you're feeling a little lonely during this time, or you're isolating yourself a little more. That can be Saturn. However, this is a time also for like a restructure, kind of like becoming more mature about this area of life and really reassessing, realizing, coming to realizations about people, friendships, groups, and where you're headed in the future as well. So it is a spiritual time, a deep spiritual time where it pushes you to spiritual maturity in a way, but it's connected to other people, the people that you socialize with, the people that you're connected with, groups, community, and how they all fit in terms of what you want to accomplish in the future. So a lot of that may go through some changes. Now, something I haven't spoken about is a full moon in Scorpio. So let's end this horoscope on that. Because, it is intense, but intensity does bring a lot of transformation. So May the 12th, we have a full moon in Scorpio. This full moon in Scorpio is happening at 22 degrees. So look at your chart if you have anything close by. The sun will be in Taurus conjunct Uranus, and the full moon will be opposing the sun and Uranus. So there could be just so many dramatic changes, a lot of unpredictability, but it's kind of pushing to freedom and independence. For you, this is impacting your 12th and 6th house axis. The 6th house relates to work. It relates to your daily life routine, habits, health, wellness, mind, body, soul, spirit. 12th house is also mind, body, soul, and spirit in a way. It's also spirituality, it's sensitivities, it's empathy, how you are of service to others. It's very humanitarian energy, very artistic energy. It's creativity. It's a dream world. It's also, where you find the past as well. So there could be a lot of karmic spiritual transformation that occurs during this time, a lot that pushes you to make changes, some things that just come into fruition. It could be a deep spiritual and emotional time, a lot of emotional healing, emotional cleansing, emotional transformation. And I know that's not the Gemini way, it's not something you enjoy. You're an air sign, so you're very logical and more detached, but those are some things that will come into the forefront, and it has to do with the 6th house also. So work, daily life, routine, habits, health, wellness. So there could be a lot of changes happening there. Where you need balance. The moon is the inner self, the sun is the outer self. Now the moon is also conjunct Juno, which is connected to the goddess of commitment and marriage. So, relationships could be a key point and a key theme during this full moon in Scorpio, but it's connected to the 6th house and the 12th house. So, Gem rising, have an incredible month. There's so much Gemini energy, so much things that are changing and shifting. Happy solar return and happy new moon in Gemini. Blessings.